Hey there, everybody and anybody, and welcome back to Night Call. So, we are replaying Night 4. Last night we lost so much money that we got fired. So, what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna go around and just pick up a whole mess of fares. Phil Bourgeois. The passenger who settles into the back seat could be a male model. He asks you to take you to the Charles de Gaulle airport. His voice is mild and pleasant. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. You watch him in the rearview mirror as he adjusts his clothes, checks his breath, obviously primping. You drive people to the airport all the time. They bring along a suitcase or a bouquet of flowers. Your passenger doesn't have either. He's looking at himself in the rearview mirror. His lips part and he runs his tongue over his teeth. Nothing stuck in my teeth, right? You shake your head no. You wonder why he's going to the airport. You're wondering why I'm going to the airport, aren't you? Yes. I could tell you were curious. I'll tell you, but it's a secret. His voice has changed, as if he were about to deliver a speech. Women today are too smart for us men. Too smart. They're onto us the minute we try to hit on them. He crinkles his nose as if there were a bad smell in the cab. There are dozens of books on how to get lucky, on how to score, but they all make the same big mistake. Do you know what the mistake I'm talking about is? They're stupid. You probably haven't read the right ones. Your comment clearly isn't going to stop him. He carries on, business as usual. Let me clarify. All those books about hitting on women never tell you where the best hunting grounds are. A theatrical pause. Airports. Another theatrical pause. It's brilliant, right? Women in airports are lonely, emotional, and available. On the street, they're always in a hurry. Don't have any time. At the movies or in museums, they don't want to be disturbed. But at the airport, he's clearly very proud of himself. You remain silent. He crinkles his nose and sniffs again. Is it me, or is there a funny smell in your cab? You sniff too. Sorry, I don't smell anything. He shrugs, then goes back to his monologue. Personally, I prefer older women. Single moms who are at the airport to pick up or send their kids to their exes. They're waiting at the unaccompanied minors counter to get information about a late flight or a gate change. I walk over to the counter, look at the flight information, pretend to be worried. My sister, I say. I'm waiting for my little sister. She's never been to Paris before. I'm gonna take her to the Louvre. She wants to work in fashion someday. She's already very talented. I hope everything is okay. That she had a good flight. She means the world to me. She's my half-sister, but I love her like a sister. A smile. He takes another sniff, glances around the cab, then picks up where he left off. The half-sister line, it works every time. Divorced parents, remarried. Every time. He bursts out laughing. A word of advice, though, you have to get there early. Make a day of it. Keep an eye on the domestic flights, the delays, the companies. It requires a little preparation, but I usually go home with 20, even 30 numbers. In 6 hours. Not bad, eh? Another thing, I wouldn't recommend Orly. The counters are a disaster there. You have to go back and forth between the different levels. It's exhausting. And the neon lights, they ruin your eyes. No, Roisy is definitely the way to go. The domestic flights Terminal. The domestic flights terminal. God, I can't talk today. He rubs his hands together. I can feel it. Today is my lucky day. It's going to be amazing. They're gonna fall for me big time. You can't resist. You give a slight cough and say, "Excuse me, you mind if I ask you a personal question?" No, of course, not at all. Anything to help you understand my game plan. This will get me more information, I think. I think that's what these little bits are. Do you really need to go through all that? I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at. Well, you're rather attractive, physically. Slight pause. And is it really necessary to go through all that trouble to pick up women? Don't women like you? That's beside the point. It's more efficient, more productive. I go on the make twice a week, and I end up with dates for several weeks. And it's also a lot easier. It's less, how should I put it, personal. I know we'll never get serious, and that is what I'm looking for. Do you see what I mean? You're afraid of women. What does that have to do with anything? You talk about women as if they might hurt you. So you hurt them to protect yourself. He bursts out laughing. You can see he's uncomfortable. Wow, you're a shrink and a cab driver, am I right? I have to say, it's a great idea for drumming up more business. It's a downright revolution. Another nervous laugh. We're talking about scoring here. No need to get all worked up. It's not like anyone died or anything. Just a slight tremor in his voice. They don't want to give me their number? They don't give me their number. I never insist. And a lot of guys do stuff that's a lot worse, right? So enough of the feminist bullshit theory. Cat pulls up to the... Oh, I got another achievement. Le pickup artist. Cab pulls up to the drop-off point. Passenger pays the fare in a hurry. Climbs out of the cab and turns around somewhat hesitant. To be perfectly honest, you shouldn't talk to your passengers like that. His voice takes on an unpleasant whining tone. It's not very professional, and if I had an app, I'd give you a bad rating. He squares his shoulders, about to walk off. And you should wash your cab too. It smells like shit. He walks away. Under the sole of a right shoe, you catch sight of a dark brown spot. Passenger disappears into the airport. You roll down your backseat window and start up the cab. No tip. That's what I get for being a dick. That's fine. I don't need your shitty money. Alright, let's go talk to this chick. Ivory, please. Your next passenger has been crying. She stares at the floor and gives you an address in the nearby suburbs. You've just started driving when her telephone rings. The ringtone is familiar. Just assuming it's Austin Powers. Yes. There's a pause. Her tone is sharp and curt. Yes, I'm on my way home right now. She pauses, holds her breath. Yes. Another pause. She sounds annoyed. No, I took a taxi. On the other end, that voice gets louder. Who's paying? Well, I am. I don't want to take the bus home tonight. Come on, lay off. A new round of criticism begins. Look, can you just lay off? Yeah, we'll talk about it when I get back. She holds the phone away from her ear, ready to hang up, then pulls it back. Yes, I'm here. She finally glances at you. There's no need to scream. I can hear you. I told you we'll talk about it when I get home. We're about to enter a tunnel, miss. I like that. She smiles. No, that was the driver saying we're about to be cut off. No, he seems normal. Mom, I said, it's break. She hangs up. Thank you. You hear a ring, same tune as before. The young woman hesitates, turns the phone over in her hand, and decides not to answer. Sorry.
No problem. To be honest, I really don't want to go home. My mother is waiting to have a long, very long discussion about my future, my career, and all the sacrifices she's made for me. She's a cleaning woman in one of the fancy office buildings at La Défense. Defense? I know it's defense, but there's a, yeah. And I failed my bar exam, so she thinks... She stops herself. She was going to make a joke, but something keeps her from doing so. Her smile vanishes. She thinks I'll end up as a cleaning woman at La Défense. I'm going to go with that one. La Défense. Passenger sighs. I think she thinks I dance too much. She thinks it's Lacme's fault. Pretty sure I've heard that name before. But mostly, she thinks it's my fault. She heaves a huge sigh and stares at nothing outside. I studied, I worked hard, but I didn't pass. And I just don't believe in all of that anymore. Now, be warned, what I'm about to say will sound cliche, but I want to be a dancer, not a lawyer. My mother doesn't understand. You must work to earn money in order to succeed. She takes a breath. Sorry, I didn't mean to unload on you. I must seem like a pretentious little princess. Not at all. Thanks. Thanks for lying. She smiles. The address she gave you is not much further. I mean, I know I owe my mother a lot. I have to stop being so self-centered, blah blah blah, and I have to pass this fucking exam. She clicks her tongue as if to force herself to stop talking. Instead, she keeps going. Mind you, she came to my Lacme performance. She pauses, tries to find her words. She saw me dance, and when we left, it's kind of dumb, but she didn't say a single word. And I think I've never felt prouder. Her silence spoke 1,000 words. You pull up to her house. She takes her time getting out of the car. I don't know why I said all that, but it felt really good. Thank you. She disappears. Her tears have definitely vanished. Sweet. Get all them tips. She looks unpleasant. Let's go talk to her. Maybe she just looks prostitute-y. Wait, oh. I was like, fuck you. What a dick. Okay. Let's accept this time. It's quite a ways. Give me some good money. Passenger gets into the cab and gives you her address. Her voice is muted, far away. You start up the cab. She appears rather meek, subdued, like she's about to fade away. You look up at her. She returns your gaze, but she's not there. It's as if you were looking at an actual person, but a silhouette instead, in the shape of a human being. Sure. Would you like some music? Music? She pauses. I don't know if you want. She breaks off again. What kind of music do you have? Whatever's on the radio. I never listen to the radio. I don't really know what's any good. Maybe... She seems to be weighing her options. Sure, jazz. Passenger looks at you for a moment or two, clearly surprised. Jazz? She hesitates, thinks it over, and nods at last. Press the search button for a jazz station, and eventually find one. Droning trumpet, getting all worked up, accompanied by drums and a bass. A bass. You never really understood jazz. It's funny. Music like that is so impenetrable. Would you like me to change stations? No, it's fine, really. I like it. My thesis supervisor listens to a lot of jazz. With time, I began to like it too. Your thesis? Yes. Not another word. She turns her head slightly as if thinking about something unpleasant. What's the subject? The progressive nuns of Reims Abbey at the dawn of the industrial era. And the air in the cab seems icy. Sounds very specific. Extremely. Too much so, no doubt. My field of research is terribly limited. And how should I put it? She sighs. It's deadly boring. A subject that no one's interested in. My thesis supervisor, for a start, my parents, my ex, and worst of all, even me. She stares at you. The subject is a trap. It's never been explored, and it informs our perception of women in the 18th century. But no one is interested in it. That's how it goes. I got used to my thesis, to the subject. Doctoral theses are rarely interesting, you know. But mine, I think I've hit rock bottom. It's a useful subject, isn't it? Her eyes widen. No, definitely not. I still wonder if I ever believed it would be such a colossal bore. She hesitantly lifts a hand. But I'm the one who chose my thesis. Me and no one else. To be honest, it will no doubt be the only thing that remains of me when I die. What if you tried something new? Something new? Like what? No practical skills whatsoever. Do you know how to drive? She stares at you. As a matter of fact, yes, I do. Then you could drive a cab. Brief pause. I see what you're hinting at, but I don't think I'd be able to do it. I'm sure your job requires more than just driving skills. I'm not very good with people. I wasn't either at first. And then, day after day, I got to know people better, to understand them. It's something you learn. She lowers her eyes. I'd like to believe you. Taxi driver, it's just an example. There are dozens of jobs that don't require any particular skills, as you said. You have to give it a go, try your luck. Honestly, I think talking more about me is going to make her open up more. Me, before I did this job, I thought I was no good for anything. Someone gave me a chance, trained me, gave me. You break off. The young woman is visibly moved. Unshed tears glisten at the darkness of the cab. Told you. Sorry. Don't be. It's nothing. It's me. A wry smile tugs at the corner of her mouth, as if she enjoys the thought of seeing loathsome people suffer. My parents think... Voice falters. She's unable to go on. Takes her a few seconds to pluck up the courage to speak again. My parents think I've made a mess of my life. I know they do. They haven't said so, of course. They're there for me. They help me. But deep down, they know it's too late. The jazz number on the radio becomes distinctly more aggressive, almost dissonant. You briefly consider turning on the volume, then change your mind. I'm 28. I'm doing a doctoral thesis on 18th century nuns. My brothers went to top business schools, earned MBAs, they're married and have children. And me? I'm compiling pages and pages of information on nuns. You pull up to the passenger's address, an opulent-looking building on the 16th. Wow, that was a word that I did not know. The young woman is perfectly still, seeming paralyzed. Thanks. She lowers her eyes. I need time to think, but thank you for what you said. I don't often hear things like that. Thank you. She hands you the fare, then exits the cab without a word. A moment later, she's walking away, heading towards her building. You sit there for a moment longer, then start up the cab. Sweet. Let's go. Is that an Avenger? Oh no, that's a Paris. Must be a out-of-town kind of guy. Let's go to goat, bunny, monkey guy. 3 teens are running on the sidewalk to the left of you. But okay. It took like 2 seconds. Gambetta. Oh shit, man. Your next passenger is holding a bow, which he inadvertently pokes in his eye while getting into the taxi. Oh, he must be like a cosplayer. He leaps into the back seat and looks at you with a lost expression on his face. I'm supposed to be at the Gambetta bus station in less than 15 minutes. Your seatbelt. You run the first red light you come across. With a little luck, you can get this kid to his bus. You see him moping behind you. Shit, it was really was it really that hard to be on time, bro? You shit stain, you can't miss the bus. You just can't, man. Everything okay? Yeah, okay. This might sound a little crazy, but what do you think of my Gravia outfit? Gravia? Yeah, it's a race and a game. The bow, the helmet, the armor, you know, all that shit. It's very nice. Nice? Yeah, okay. But do you think it's lit? I'm too old to be saying lit. Yeah, it's very interesting. Interesting? I don't want interesting. He sighs heavily and droops his head. Shit, all this for a chick? I'm so into her. I even started playing her favorite game, Lost Legend 5, to make her like me, but I look like a moron. He looks at the time on the meter. You don't look like a moron. You ever done anything like this for a chick? Oh yeah, I definitely did some stupid stuff. Much stupider than dressing up. It's not dressing up, it's cosplay. He turns his bow over. This cosplay is for a convention. Yeah, in Belgium, there'll be thousands of cosplayers. It's pretty legit. Will there be lots of graviers? Gravias. Nah, I don't think so. They're popular, but the costume is daring. You've got to flash your abs at everyone all weekend. Sure, it'll be fine. You really think so? Well, it's daring. Plus, if you're the only one dressed like that. He takes a minute to think. You are so totally right. How could she not be into me? You park in front of the bus station. Your passenger hands you a bill to pay his fare. Keep the change. I've always wanted to say that. Good luck. That's me. Good luck with the Gravia thing. Gravia? Yeah, thanks, man. Second later, he's running for his bus, his bow slung across his back. Let's get some gas. Probably talk to the gas station clerk or whatever, get some more shit. I already done all this. That's fine. Hi. Oh wait, that's him, not me. Hi! Talk with the clerk. If you read the papers, he's all they're talking about. Just an offhand comment casually brought up about the serial killer. Guy behind the counter looks like he's interested in the case. Oh, that was quick. Let's do this guy. Let me say he's Irish or British or something. Just for shits and giggles. Let's see, he doesn't talk. You double park and wait for the next passenger to slide into the back seat. He looks at you like he appreciates you in your taxi. He gives you the address. Start driving. A few words are exchanged of weather, taxes, traffic. Then you can tell it's coming. The inevitable conversation about the killer. Bits of information, rumors, things overheard. Make a mental note of what you heard, who knows, might come in handy. Passengers make a sound for the next few minutes of the trip. Don't bother you, you've had enough on your mind. Your investigation, judge, who's set. You're overcome with a craving to smoke. You nod slowly and glance at your passenger. Calm and still, he seems far away. I feel like not talking to him is probably what's going to get me some money. Silence becomes heavy. All of a sudden, you feel a strange sense of camaraderie with your passenger. I feel like I've said this one before. You look at him quickly in the rearview mirror. He doesn't look familiar at all, and yet it's like you know him. A second later, an outside light shines on his face at a weird angle. Looks like he's smiling. A few seconds later, you drive down a street. Straightens up a bit. Park in front of the number he gave you. Pays his fare without a word. Door opens slowly and he smiles at you. You can tell it comes from the bottom of his heart, despite how uptight he is. Yeah, I feel like I've done this before. You're really a swell guy. You weren't expecting that. By the time you collect your thoughts, the passenger's already far away. He disappears into a building. Moment goes by before you turn the key into the ignition. Sweet. Sure. Oh, somebody needs to talk to me. Let's do this shit. Passenger gets in the cab, greets you with uncertain tones. Good evening. You try to answer as warmly as possible. Good evening. Good evening. I want to... She stops short, trembling as if in a panic. Is everything alright? No, it's not. I... She begins pouring her heart out. A flood of sorrow fills the cab. I've lost my cat. She shakes her head as if chasing a bad dream. I know, it's pretty silly, it's pathetic, but I've lost my cat. She holds up a poster of the missing animal. His name is Krauky. It's the cat from the other night, you're sure of it. Listen, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but someone saw my cat get into a cab. So I called your company and asked which taxis were in the neighborhood the night he disappeared. You were the only one. I need your help. Her tone is increasingly hesitant, insecure. Please tell me, do you know where he is? Where's Krauky? Where's my cat? She takes a deep breath. It's a question of life and death. You know what? Me and the cat, we're tight. I haven't seen him. She winces. I don't know why. Why I believe the bum who told me. He was sure he saw Krauky get into a cab and I believed him. I'm such an idiot. Have you tried looking for him anywhere else? I've looked everywhere for him, thanks. Combed the entire neighborhood. I stuck lost cat posters up all over town. So when the homeless guy at the foot of the building said he saw my cat, that he saw him get into your cab, I believed him. Maybe he really did, I thought. She takes a deep breath. Krauky is unique. Krauky could have done it. I figured out a way of getting you to take him somewhere. She stares at you. I'm gonna ask you one last time. Do you know where my cat is? Fuck you, lady. I don't trust you. No, I don't. Haven't seen any cats. Her searching gaze holds your eye for a long moment. I'm sorry. She appears dejected and sad all of a sudden. She nods toward the passenger window. I think I need a little air. Could you stop the car, please? Pull over to the sidewalk. Thank you. She lowers her gaze. I know I was a little too much for him. I might have been a little suffocating, but he was everything to me. And nobody seems to understand. Nobody. Yeah, let's say nothing. Time seems to have come to a standstill. By and by, she looks over at you. He's probably dead by now, and it's your fault. Wow. She gets out of the cab and walks away without shutting the door. Next minute, she's gone, swallowed up by the night. You get out and close the door. Take a deep breath, your lungs freeze. You wait another minute, then get back inside and start the engine. Oh, she actually gave me money. Sweet. And a tip. For lying to her. Alright, let's go home. See, what I can collect. Let's make sure I don't get fired. How about that? Hey, profits! Hey, losses. Ouch. Yeah. You take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. Steps into the hallway. They stop in front of your door, then move away. Crack your knuckles and get to work. Alright, so do I have anything here? No. Okay, so I think we went with, it's one of these two fellas. Yeah, we know it's not him. Victim 3, respected colonel and community pillar. Although he tortured people. Victim 4 was a fantastic politician. Victim 4 is down here. Which I already knew that. So we can get rid of that. Why are you with him? Riken and health scandal. So we're looking towards this guy right now. Okay. I don't think we need to know that because we're not saying that she's a part of it. First 3 victims files not part of a police leak. Okay, so it's definitely some sort of police officer, which both these guys were. Okay. Excuse me. So this is pretty good. I'm thinking it's going to be this guy right here because the Rickenden scandal. The Rickenden health issues because of his mom. And this dude just, yeah, doesn't matter. Okay, so right now I'm thinking it's this person. It could be this person, but I'm pretty sure it's this guy right here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end the night. I don't think there's anything else we can figure out here. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You slide into the open sofa bed. The events of the day running through your head. Streets, passengers, fares, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches and you're in pain. You tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at the investigation board. Hands are shaking, you don't quite know what's happening around you anymore. For a short moment, the room around you starts to flutter. Shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. Right when you're about to fall asleep, something rubs up against your leg. You prop your head up, and just there in the shadows you see a face. Looks like a combination of the faces of all your subjects. You wake with a start. Look quickly around you, there's nobody there. You lie back down, feeling restless. Okay, so that is it for night 4, and we didn't get fired. Woo! I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.